And let's get it. This is the Back Row Bengals show. I am your host, Josh Miller. This is all brought to you by fansided.com. If you want to head on over there, you can read all about any sort of type of sport, any sort of type of team. I specifically write for your Cincinnati Bengals. So if you head on over to the Cincinnati Bengals side, you're going to find plenty of articles that go along with Cincinnati Bengals, and you're going to find a lot of my articles. I just put out one talking about, are the Bengals possibly the best team in the AFC? Go give it a read. We'll talk a little bit about it here. But today we are going to be previewing the. It was going to be much anticipated this year. You know, a lot of us speculated that this game is going to be coming down to basically this could be deciding the division. And a lot of us thought, including me, thought this is where it was going to be decided. Like the Bengals, it's going to be Bengals Browns. Whoever wins is going to get the division. Thank God that that's not true because the Bengals won't clinch the division this last Sunday against the Chiefs. I did not want this to go down to Cleveland in January where the Bengals had to win. It's not that I didn't trust them to win there. I think they do win, but I mean, it's a division game. Anything could happen. The Browns already beat us once, 45-7. I mean, that's already still fresh. So uh, I'm just saying, thank God it's not coming down to this game. And sadly, that just means there's a lot less to talk about with it. But I mean, there's some key points, there's some big storylines that we need to talk about. One of them, most of them have to do with Cleveland because Cleveland's got to make a lot of decisions. When you think about it, this was the Browns all in year. Like this was it. This was like they're gonna make their run, they're gonna make their Super Bowl run. And a lot of people were choosing them dark horse, and they were far and away the favorite to win the AFC North. Probably the most disappointing season. I mean, the Browns have seen a lot of disappointing seasons, but one of the most disappointing seasons, just in terms of any team. Forget the Browns, any team this year. I mean, I put them up as probably the most disappointing team this year. Where expectation to reality is, but reality is this. Excuse me, I'm sorry. The reality is this: Baker Mayfield is not good. That's it. He's not a starting quarterback. We found out. He's good with, you know, all the key pieces around him and, maybe for a stretch or two, but he's not your guy. He's not going to take you anywhere. He looks terrible. That game against Pittsburgh, he looks awful. Terrible. Baker Mayfield, speaking of which, will be one of the inactives against the Bengals, along with Joe Burrow. The Browns seemed like they're going to be mailing in the season, which is probably a good idea. The Bengals look like they're going to be resting up their guys. They're basically doing the same thing, but notice what I said. Browns are mailing it in. Bengals are resting up their guys. You know why? Because the Bengals are going to the playoffs. Browns whiffed it. Changes have got to be made in Cleveland if they want to go anywhere. Stefanski, you know, he had his one run last year, and all my friends are ready to sign him to a long year deal. I'm friends with all Browns fans. I grew up a lot in Columbus, so there was a majority Browns fans up in Columbus because I lived on the north side. Uh, but many of them were ready to be like, okay, we're gonna give Stefanski like this long term contract. He's the guy. He's gonna take us there. Let's tap the brakes on it. He's been in one season. You can't just judge that head coach off that one season. And you can't like he just got there. He's gonna make a lot of mistakes. He's been making mistakes. His teams aren't ready. His teams are much better than what they're performing on the field. A lot of it comes down to coaching. A lot of it comes down to quarterback play, but a lot of it is coming down to coaching too. Their defensive coordinator, Tim Woods, is not using their talent. It's sad times in Cleveland. Now I'm all fine with it. I love it. But it really is sad times in Cleveland. I don't know what they're going to do. And it's almost like they're going to have to go through another rebuild. They got to get another quarterback. And in a draft class like this, there's not really a big name quarterback that you're dying for. Bryce Young, okay. He has at times looked very pedestrian. He's not a Joe Burrow. He's not a Trevor Lawrence. He's not a Justin Herbert. I mean, who's next? That kid from Georgia. Shoot, I can't remember his name. Starts with a B or something. But he's just absolutely. I mean, he's terrible. And the Browns are going to be in free fall for a while, so and they got to make a decision. They got to either say Baker is going to. I mean, they got to sign him or get rid of him. And I got to tell you, Baker's had the worst contract year I've ever seen. We got a question from our stats guy, Russ Blackthorn. He said, "Do you think the Bengals should rest their starters this week, or should they play part or all of the game?" Personally, I say sit everyone and stay healthy. Russ, I would agree with you. Let's get our guys healthy. There's no reason why Joe Burrow should be out there. There's no reason why Trey Henderson should be out there when he's got a little bit of a back issue. Quentin Spain cannot be rushing these guys out there. Let's sit them. Sit them. That's okay. And listen, if we get the 4 seed, we get the 4 seed. If we get the 3, we get the 3. Sit them. I want our main guys to be playing on in the playoffs on that in 2 weeks. That's where I want our main guys to. Not a pointless game in Cleveland. We lose, we lose. That's fine. I'm all fine. But to be this close and then to have like one final game where it's seeding I and to risk a big time injury, not can't have it. Can't have it. We got to let's put our backups in. Let's give Brandon Allen some time, who's deserved it. He's been a great backup quarterback the past 2 years. And you know what? He did do something. He handled the snap, took the knee, and then handled the snap again and spiked the ball. You know what? That's not nothing. So let's let Brandon Allen throw the ball around a little bit. Give our backup receivers a little bit of a little chance to put something on to film, put something on tape for them. So no, got it. Let's play some backups. There's still a chance we win the game too. Brandon Allen is not a bad quarterback. Plus, also this could be really good. Turning around into draft capital. Like let's just say Brandon Allen goes off, and a team like Cleveland needs a quarterback for next year. There you go. Just like that, you got draft capital over your former or over the Browns. But anyway, no, I do not. We rest those starters. Rest them. Rest them. Rest them. Let's practice them out today, and then get them ready to go for the playoffs of who we're facing in the early part of the wild card round. Yeah, yeah. I mean, getting the number one seed would be great. It really would. But that's a pipe dream. It really is. I mean, KC's got to get beat by Denver, who is already out, and then Tennessee's got to get beat by Houston, who's been out for since early December. Um, yeah, no reason to. And then on top of that, and I was thinking about this for a little bit. I mean, this team has shown that they can go and win on the road. They're 5-2 in away games. Like they don't seem to be bothered by crowds or bright lights or big stages. And I was talking about that with Strawberry Ice last week when we were recapping the game. It's really like I'm fine with them going to Arrowhead and playing for a chance to either get into the Super Bowl or get into the AFC Championship game. Like I'm fine with that. I don't think any other team wants to be playing the Bengals right now. I think the Chiefs would be, you know, doing something down their leg if they found out that the Bengals were going to be the 4 seed and they go to and Kansas City gets the 1 seed and they're going to KC to go play to get into the AFC Championship. I don't think Tennessee wants to play the Bengals. I don't think anybody does. So I think the seeding, especially this in a year like this, I don't think it's going to matter. I'm hoping that Tennessee does. If we don't get it, I'm hoping that Tennessee does hold on to the 1 seed because if they do, I will 1000% be down in Nashville for that game. That'll be freaking awesome. But yeah. But anyway, want to get a little bit back to the Bengals Browns game. A lot of guys are going to be out. Sam Hubbard, Larry O, CJ. I know Joe's is going to be definitely. That was got to be. I mean, that's a no brainer not having Joe Burrow play. That's a no brainer without question, without doubt. Let's get Brandon Allen go out there and go take some snaps and let's see what they got here. I'm not too worried about it. And then again, there's still a chance that this Bengals team still wins. Browns are going to be sitting a lot of guys. I would be a little surprised if Nick Chubb ended up playing the game. I'm sure Nick would like to play, and I'm sure the organization would like him not to play. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. I know Baker's not going to play. They're just that's it. He's done. Um, just it's like I said, man. It's sad times. I know Kareem Hunt's going to be out. They got a lot of guys out, and I don't know how you fix the problem in Cleveland. That's a tough ask. It might be an explosion and rebuild again. Odell is going out in LA, balling out. As much as I don't like Odell. It's pretty funny to see what he just did to Cleveland. So basically, he's just leaving and being great. So, do you think? I mean, at the end of the day, like it seemed like that the Browns were holding Odell back the entire time, and that's a big that's a big matzo ball right there that Kevin Stefanski is going to have to answer for. It's a big matzo ball that the Browns organization is going to have to answer for. So, but anyway, Bengals Browns. It's going to be a very uninteresting game. I'm obviously definitely going to keep watching it. Hopefully, we win. I still want to win, no matter what. Beating the Browns would always be great, and going 7-1 in the division would be phenomenal. But let's talk about some teams around the AFC that we need to start worrying about. So Russ Blackthorne brings up Tennessee Titans. He said Derrick Henry worries him, and I would agree. Derrick Henry worries me too. I mean, he is going to be back for the playoffs. He's coming off of an injury, yeah, but I mean, he's still going to run as hard as he can. But the thing is with that is if the Bengals can just shift down to kind of how they did against KC. I mean, they were getting ran on the entire game and then adjusted. So as long as Lou Anarumo realizes, I mean, just force Ryan Tannehill to throw the ball and throw the ball in tight areas. Derrick Henry's an absolute monster. He's going to be hard to bring down. He's probably going to have a touchdown either way if we play them. But again, it goes back to don't let their superstars beat us. So if Derrick Henry is 200 yards every single play, or excuse me, 200 yards during the game and 2 tutties, we're probably losing the game. But if you force somebody else on the Titans to beat us, force AJ Brown to beat us, force Ryan Tannehill to throw the ball to beat us against our defense, who's been playing very, very good, and our secondary, who has been lights out. And then, so Tennessee doesn't really worry me. Then, the problem is that, and when Russ brings it up, he talks about the inconsistencies of the Bengals, and I agree with you. I mean, this is a team that is still trying to, find out how to be great. This is the first time that the Bengals have won 3 games in a row, probably since 2015, and they haven't been able to do it, till now. And it's they were able to get it together here, but I mean, now it's playoff time. It's playoff time. There is no more bad weeks. It's got to be great weeks all the way through. But if the Bengals are red hot is the thing. They just keep playing how they are, and they keep just doing what they're doing. They're gonna win these games. They're gonna win these games. There's not a single team in the AFC where I'm like, okay, the Bengals have no shot. I think every single team they can beat. Tennessee doesn't scare me. Um, I mean, you look at the wild cards. Indianapolis doesn't scare me. Chargers don't scare me. Um, Definitely not Vegas if they somehow find a way to sneak in. Definitely not Baltimore. Bengals. I mean, they can win pretty much in every other matchup. Um, I don't know if if the Steelers can make it in. I don't know if I would like to play them, but I kind of do, just to beat them 4 times in 2 years, which would be incredible. That would be pretty funny for me, honestly, and beating them 3 times in 1 year. It's probably be. I mean, that would just be detrimental to the Steelers organization. Like the AFC North just beat you 3 times in a row. I mean, that's brutal. That's brutal. I know the Yinzer Nation would not like that. Kansas City going back. Look, it's incredibly hard to beat a team twice. I get that, but they don't scare me. The I mean, the blueprint is out. You attack their secondary. Their secondary is garbage. I mean, and they want to blitz, and they want to blitz a lot. I mean, and we all know you can't do that against Joe Burrow. You can't blitz a lot. He's taken out pretty much everybody, all those teams that blitz really heavy. Baltimore, Kansas City. He did it with Vegas. All those teams that are blitzing a lot, he's just taking out their entire game by just popping it over their head. I mean, he's just so calm and cool under pressure. So that's why I put this Bengals team against anybody, and I can't wait to see where exactly they fall. Another team that really doesn't scare me is the Bills. I don't. I mean, I go. We got to go to both Buffalo, or Buffalo's got to come to us, or either or. I mean, I'm not scared of Buffalo. I don't think Josh Allen's that good, personally. I don't think Buffalo is this unbeatable team that everybody thought they were going to be. They just aren't. Patriots, I mean, they have Bill Belichick. That's it. Mac Jones is not going to beat the Bengals by himself. He ain't Brady. He threw 3 times against the Bills. 3. It's not going to cut it. I mean, it's not going to cut it against the Bengals. And it does scare me a little bit, but having them at home, not so much. We got to, at the end of the day, forget coaching. You got a rookie quarterback versus top 5 offense. You can't zero it. I'm taking the Bengals without question, without a doubt. I think the Bengals will be favored in their first round pick or their first round game. I think the second game is going to depend on where they're going. I would like to. I mean, I would like to play Tennessee. I think we could beat Tennessee. I would love to. I would love to go down to Nashville to watch that game and play that game and beat Tennessee and get ready to go to the AFC Championship game. And then possibly, hopefully, maybe it'll even come back here if you get a couple upsets here and there. And let's take our chances. This Bengals team is really good. They're really good. I wrote an article about this. Please go read the article. I put a lot of time and a good amount of effort into it. So I love to do it. But I talk a lot about the how the Bengals are the best team in the AFC. And I truly believe that. I truly believe that the Bengals are the team to beat in the AFC because they just beat the guy. Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee does not scare me. Doesn't. The only thing about another AFC team that I have some reservations about is the Colts. Just because they have a really solid running game, kind of like the Titans, a really solid running game, especially when Derrick Henry is going to come back. But the Colts have a really, really solid running game. Excuse me. But at the end of the day, if you look offense to offense and defense to defense, it's a no-brainer. The Bengals are the far better team. So I think it's just going to come down to, can the Bengals just be that better team? Can they take that success? Can they take expectation and roll with it? Or do they crumble under the pressure? And we're going to find out about that in 2 weeks, and we'll get to that next week. All right, y'all. We went about 18 minutes here. Kind of a shorter episode, but I mean, there's really not much to talk about for this next game coming up. And we don't really, guess what? We don't even really need to talk about draft pick because we got playoffs to win. Playoffs. Anyway. All right, y'all. I'm going to see you next Tuesday. Can't wait to talk. It's going to be the last regular season week of this year, and I can't wait. We're going to be recapping the Browns-Bengals game on Tuesday, and then we're going to be previewing the playoff game, the wild card game, most likely. Maybe even we're going to have a bye week, which would be insane. Something to look forward to. At any rate, get some good night's sleep tonight. Get excited. Watch all those Bengals highlights. Get hyped up, and let's go beat the Browns on Sunday. Let's go beat them. Let's go Brandon Allen. Hopefully he goes out there and gets it done. All right. This has been the Back Row Bengals Show, all brought to you by Fansided.com. Go on over there. Go look up some teams. Go read about some sports. And I appreciate all of you for listening. Thanks to our stats guy, Russ Blackthorn, for joining us once again, giving me some talking points. I really greatly appreciate that. All right, y'all. I'm going to see you next Tuesday. Let's go get a win on Sunday.